Hi guys, Internet Nerd here once again, and you're welcome to the first episode of what I would call Internet Trivia. So Internet Trivia is an extension of Internet Nerd Explains. It's sort of our own way of sort of making sure that what we have taught you or informed you about earlier in the week sort of registers. It's one thing to actually take in an information, and it's another thing to actually remember it and let it be part and parcel of you. So as I mentioned, Internet Trivia would be an extension of the Internet Nerd Explains program. So as the name implies, it's going to be a trivia of questions or discourses around what would explained earlier in the week, just for that information to be more actionable and more useful to you. So like I said, every Internet Trivia episode is going to leave off of, or is going to feed off of an episode or the preceding episode of Internet Nerd Explains. So now, in the previous episode of Internet Nerd Explains, we talked about AI and water usage and data centers and all that, discuss around it. So for this first trivia, the questions or the trivia around it is basically going to be an extension or around that particular discourse. So anything we did not touch in Internet Nerd Explains will not make it to the trivia for that week or in that sequence, if you get what I mean. So for you to get the full, after we go through this trivia, if you maybe don't get it 100%, or if you actually don't get up to 70%, it means that you need to go back to the Internet Nerd Explains content to take it in a little bit more, and then maybe you come back to Internet Trivia to try it to see if the information actually registers. So without further ado, let's get into it. Now I'm going to display a few options on the screen for you to select from. We have option A, B, C, and D for each question. So we have a total of 10 questions for each episode. And for you to participate, you could actually pause the video per question for each question and answer it maybe before I do answer it. Yeah, let's go. Question 1. Why do people say AI uses water? If your answer is B, you're correct. AI does not exactly use water. It is the infrastructure that powers AI that actually uses water, not AI itself. Question 2. What exactly is a data center? If your answer is B, you're correct. Like I said, think of data center as this giant warehouse that is filled with thousands and thousands of computers working around the clock. Question 3. Why do data centers need cooling? If you chose C, you're correct, because like I said, data centers need cooling because the more computation happens, the more the servers get heated up, and of course the servers are hosted within these data centers. So the more computation that we have, the more the servers get heated up, and the more these data centers ought to be cooled for these servers to work more effectively. Question 4. Why is water more commonly used instead of just air? If you chose B, you're correct, and that is simply because water is a lot more effective in absorbing heat. Think about if, say, you're very hot, for instance, right? If you get under the air conditioner or you dip into a swimming pool or whatever, which is actually a lot more effective. Water, like a body of water, and water in bodies a lot more effective than when you just, stay under the AC or whatever. So that's sort of why people, when you're very hot, you have a bath instead of just fanning yourself or just under AC. You want to, have your bath just to feel a lot more, just to get immersed in the shower or in the pool or whatever. It's just a lot more different than just, taking in air. So now we're halfway there. Question 5. Data centers are the biggest users of water in most regions. True or false? If you say false, you're correct, because agriculture, energy production, population growth consume much more water than most data centers do. Question 6. Why are communities concerned about new AI data centers? If you say B, you're correct. Like I mentioned in the original video, the issue is not about the present use, it's more of cumulative impact when you factor in, agriculture, energy production, the locations or the communities' usage of water, population growth, and then now we have data centers. It's something, like I said, that is called cumulative impact. Is more about the cumulative impact of what all of that would spell for the society and for the community, and not exactly them being outrightly against AI data centers. Question 7. Which of these places have become major hub for AI data centers? I think this should be the easiest question here, and if you chose D, you're definitely correct, because all of these regions have attracted major investment in AI infrastructure. Question 8. Most experts say data centers are the only reason some regions experience water shortages. True or false? That is false, because water scarcity is largely influenced by a number of factors, from climate to agriculture to energy production to population growth and all that jazz. So it's not just data centers that are this, corporates. Yeah, is that the right word? Data centers are not the sole culprits to, potential water shortages. We also have these other factors I've just listed. Question 9. Complete the chain. More AI users equals what? If you chose B, more computation, you're correct, because more AI users equals more computation, and more computation would lead to the rise of more servers, and more servers will lead to them building more data centers. More data centers would lead to, of course, more heat. More heat will ultimately lead to more cooling, and more cooling would need more water to function. That is the chain. So think about it. The more you use AI in your daily lives, use AI to generate pictures, use AI to generate songs, generate characters, all that stuff. That is basically more people using AI. That's more users of AI, and that, of course, would equal more computation. More computation will definitely have to pass through more servers. More servers will actually have to be hosted in more data centers. More data centers will have to use more electricity. By that, it will mean that they will generate a lot more heat, and more heat would need more cooling, and more cooling, of course, will need more water for all of this to function. So that is the truth. And now the last but not the least question. Let me know what you've gotten so far, and I hope you pause this video to answer it. And yeah, I really hope that you are correct. And if you're not, I think if you get anything less than 50%, you should again refer to the original video, which I'm going to link somewhere in the description, and also somewhere here as well, just so you get familiar with the discourse on ground before we move on to the next. And I want you to stay tuned, and please subscribe to this channel, because we have a lot more exciting things coming up. If you are really curious about the internet and how it just impacts the world around us, which everyone should be. Final question. According to Internet Nerd, what is the biggest takeaway in this entire discourse? If you chose C, you're correct. Everything that has to do with the internet depends on physical infrastructure, from buildings and servers to electricity to cooling systems and cables, and sometimes, and really ultimately, water. So again, the cloud is not always the cloud. The internet is not this mythical thing that is so abstract that is just somewhere in the air or whatever. No, it is an array of buildings that host thousands of computers, and for this to function, these computers or whatever, or this infrastructure, would rely on human stuff, like environmental stuff, again, like water, like electricity, to actually function. Once again, let me know your score in the comment section, and if you have any question whatsoever for Internet Nerd to respond to, please do well to also drop it in the comment section as well. And before I leave you, I have a bonus question for you, which I'm going to answer in the next episode, but I hope that you answer it before I do, and please drop your answers in the comment section. Now the question goes thus: if AI does not use water directly, just as we've established in this entire discussion in the past weeks, right? Why do headlines keep claiming or saying that AI or ChatGPT or whatever uses water? Let me know your answer in the comment section, and yeah, see you in the next one.